I'm here with Randeep Kapur, CTO Ambassador and Field Director of Dell Technologies. Thank you very much for coming. So, Randeep, what are some of the emerging technologies or trends influencing the data center market in the ASEAN market, and how are they impacting the industry?
So when I look at the Asian market, I basically look at six technologies which are making a lot of impact, right? And in fact, these are the ones which are leading the market. The first and the most important one is artificial intelligence. Using artificial intelligence, the data center market has now started learning and predicting a lot of activities whereby they are able to get access to the data, to the infrastructure, and how to manage the software defined architectures, how do they define the network, how do they define the storage or compute part of it. But it's just not that. Along with that, after pandemic, there's a lot of automation which has been brought into it. So automation is the next technology which has come into it, and this automation is bringing a lot of virtualization. We are able to access the data centers virtually using technologies such as artificial intelligence is linking to, let's say, digital twin. It is connected to augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, and now the meta. And all of this has been giving and empowering data center owners to manage a lot of activities over there. And as and when a lot of load in data centers is increasing, people have started realizing that everything or all the data cannot be managed centrally. So there is a shift. So now this shift is happening because of basically two technologies. One is called the edge computing and another one is the cloud. So people have started realizing very clearly that what workloads need to be on the edge side and what workloads need to be on the cloud. And this is, putting a lot of questions in front of manufacturers, in front of various different industries like healthcare, where they're saying, okay, I need to have my compute power at the edge, and I need to distribute the load considering what needs to be addressed and what needs to be available at the edge and solved at the edge, so that the right amount of compute, storage, network, and processing is available over there, while some data needs to be moving to the cloud. And as edge is growing nowadays, there's a lot of IoT devices which are getting connected. And as and when the IoT devices are getting connected, so it is putting a lot of stress on the network. And when the stress is happening on the network, that gives the birth to the fifth technology, which is going to be changing and is going to bring a lot of revolution, which is 5G. And 5G is what it's doing is it's reducing the latency and it is increasing the speed for us to connect to multiple devices and at the same time have a real-time visibility so that we can monitor, we can manage each and every activity. Now imagine, all of these things, if they are put very smartly into the into the sixth technology, which is the green data center. Now, if all of these things have been put properly, and which to a certain extent has already been put, we have been able to create command and control centers to manage and monitor various features. At the same time, using the sustainability part of it, if you look at thermal cooling, which is another technology where we talked about air cooling as the first technology. Second one was where we talked about, liquid cooling. Apart from liquid cooling, there was another one which was called liquid immersion cooling. And now there's new innovation. People have started thinking, no, I don't need to really dip the whole server into the liquid immersion cooling. I probably need to do partial immersion cooling, which is also called submerged, or it is also called submerged immersion cooling in the market, right? And then there's another one which is called spray immersion cooling. So there's a lot of innovation. So very exciting time in the market, and innovation never stops.
And that we can see very, very clearly with AI as well, which is one of the ones you've mentioned. How do you see it impacting the modern workplace and also the modern data center?
So the modern data centers are actually picking up a lot of learnings over here. So what is happening is the modern data centers are not trying to become very smart. And these data centers have started realizing that traditional data centers have been, a lot of cost investments are happening over there. And because of these cost investments, the OPEX is going quite high. As and when the OPEX is going high, it's very difficult for them to manage it. So there's no way for them to continue with what they are doing. They need to really move on and get on to the next technologies to leverage these experiences using all emerging technologies. They are bringing all these new features to us.
Absolutely. Well, just for following on with that, can you shed some light on the role of software-defined technologies in optimizing data center operations and enhancing agility?
So the software-defined technologies are very clear. So, and this is not new. This has been happening for long. But within software-defined technologies, what has most importantly now happened is we are able to manage, the compute powers which are going to be deployed for various kind of workloads, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's a healthcare industry. So without having an administrator put at the line or put him on the front of the line, right, to make a decision at the time when some action is required on the board, right? We are able to handle all of these things with the support of software. And the software is actually managing all the hardware movements and other things. At the same time, we are able to manage network utilization also, whereby we are able to say, do we need how much bandwidth for a particular network? Maybe I might be doing file transfers, the bandwidth needs to be brought down. But suddenly I am doing VoIP, transactions, so the bandwidth needs to be going up. But if I'm doing it for smart cities, or if I'm doing, let's say, media related activities or video surveillance related activities, I can again then bring it up. Now, what this has brought is, so network optimization or network virtualization has started bringing another flavor whereby we are able to manage all of these things sitting at home remotely, right? And that's giving us a lot of leverage and power over there. And then another one is there, which is called the storage virtualization. And storage virtualization is bringing us another features where we are able to manage or flexibly handle, monitor all these storage devices, and let's say divert the traffic or the storage usage or types of what type of storage we need, when do we need, how do we need, for which application do we need. We are able to handle all of these very smartly. And on top of it, now with software defined data centers, we are able to put a lot of management, we are able to put a lot of automation. There's a lot of agility which has been brought into it. We are able to manage and manage the resource pooling, and also perform various kind of processing workloads, not only one but multiple, from scale up to scale down whenever you want, right?
Yes, and I think you've given us a lot to think about, and a lot of things to be excited for, especially in the modern and future data center. I think the final question would really be to ask, what are you most excited for in the data center future, and what do you want to see?
So, I'll say, there's a joint responsibility, in the future data centers. Yes, we want to get into the future data center, but everything cannot be done just by us or cannot be done by the government. I hear a lot of, even in the exhibition, I was hearing government should change this policy or that policy. The future data centers should be built up considering, not only the software defined architectures which is inside the data centers, but the ecosystem which is supporting the data center, whereby if I've got space available on my roof, or I've got a wasteland available, I should build up solar plants, or I should build up those kind of solar energies which are going to reduce the load, right, of my data center, and put less pressure on the government, right? At the same time, make my own data center smart enough, and these data centers are able to tell me that when should they increase the energy consumption, when should they decrease the energy consumption, where are the leakages, and have a one single pane glass view of the entire command control center. We're able to leverage all these technologies together and predict or plan what should be there for the next day or the next day or the future, right?
Sure.
And we are able to automate and tailor it out, customize based on the unique needs of each and every customer.
How are the government policies changing the data center industry in your way?
Okay. So when we look at government policies, there's a lot of different regional flavor which is coming along with it, and this regional flavor is something which is talking about whereby we are looking at fines put in one side of the country, such as Singapore, where if your data center is consuming a lot of energy, then from that energy point of view, they have started saying that, okay, manufacturing industries, after 2024, if you are consuming more than X amount of megabytes of energy, there's a fine to it, right? So what that is doing is it's pushing them to start, moving from traditional infrastructure to the modern infrastructure, so that they are able to reduce their energy consumption. At the same time, it's pushing them to not only put all the pressure on the government to create all these energy sustainable efficiencies, but at the same time build in-house, right? Have their own solar plants, have their own energy generation activities happening over there, so that they can take it to the next level. So that's also one. Another one is whereby a lot of technology providers are working hand in hand with the governments, and now these technology providers are speaking to the government at what should they be calling out in their policies, so that people are encouraged to move to the smart data centers, right? And what are the actions that they need to perform so that they are measurable, and they really do it for a cost, because it's actually reducing their opex and it is bringing their higher productivity at the same time.
So that's it. No, thank you so much again. And I think that will close us out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.